Ceann Comhairle, I watched the Taoiseach and the Minister for Finance deliver their press conference on the internet, and I saw the questions that they were asked by journalists, and I've looked through their statement, and I must say that whatever this is, it's not a plan for the economy. It's a bit of a back-of-the-envelope bookkeeping exercise, contains some prudent measures, some of which had been sought for some time from this side of the House. The ministerial pay increase, for example, dropping that, and measures in relation to decentralisation, which in fact I'd been questioning you about, Taoiseach, only a couple of weeks ago. But most of it appears to be full of headline grabbers which appear to be designed more to restore political confidence in the government than to restore confidence in the economy. And the astonishing thing about this is that it says little or nothing to the 54,000 people who have lost their jobs over the last year. We're talking about an additional 2,668 people in Waterford, 3,389 in Cork, 1,250 in Blanchardstown. 43 of the labour exchanges in this country have seen an increase in unemployment of more than 50% in the past 12 months. Most of that from the people working in the private sector, and out there you have hundreds of thousands of people who are worried about their jobs this evening. There is nothing in this plan that speaks to those people about putting them back to work or securing their employment. In fact, the only thing that you've provided for in this plan is a plan for how to continue to pay them the dole, rather than a plan to get them back to work. So I want to ask you, Taoiseach, first of all, what is your plan to restore confidence in the economy and to get the private sector of the economy growing again and to get people back into work? And specifically, in relation to the measure that's in this proposal to reduce the payroll bill by 3% across every government department, state agency and local authority, with the exception of health and education. Can I ask you, how much of the €1 billion that you plan to save next year is going to be achieved by that 3% cut? Secondly, can you tell the House how much of that 3% cut in payroll across all government departments is going to be achieved by a reduction in the number of public servants who are working in those departments, and what assessment has been made by you or by the government of the impact of that on the public services that those departments are responsible for delivering? And finally, can I ask you if we can take it that today's announcement is the totality of the measures that you are going to announce, or that are going to be announced by individual government departments or individual state agencies or individual local authorities. For example, the 3% cut in payroll which you intend to achieve, for example, in local authorities, will that be made up by local authorities increasing or introducing additional charges to the citizens that they govern at local level? I'm a little surprised, Ceann Comhairle, at the figure that the Taoiseach has just given us for his estimate for the amount that will be saved by the 3% payroll reduction across government departments and state agencies and local authorities. You tell us, Taoiseach, that in 2009 that will be 250 million.
2009, about 250 million.
Between now and the end of 2009?
We're starting the process now.
Yeah, but I mean, where are you going? I mean, you've told us, Taoiseach, I mean, these figures don't add up. This doesn't add up now.
They do add up.
1 billion, you tell us that you're going to save 1 billion in 2009. Now, if the 3% reduction in payroll is only 250 million, between now and the end of 2009, where on earth is the 750 million for the remainder of 2009 and the remainder of the 190 million for 2008 going to come from? That doesn't stack up. I mean, you know, even at the rate that your government is placing ads in television stations and newspapers and so on, cutting advertisements and cutting consultants and all of the other headline grabbers that you have in these in all of these measures won't add up to 750 million in 2009 plus an extra 190 million in 2008. I mean, that doesn't stack up, Taoiseach. 250 million, a 3% cut in payroll. If it's 250 million, the rest of your figures are a fairy tale. So I ask you again to tell us how much of the 1 billion in 2009 is going to be made up by the 3% cut in payroll, so that we can have some assessment here, because clearly the information is going to come out in dribs and drabs as individual ministers make individual announcements and individual decisions are made in individual local authorities and so on. But in order for us to get some general assessment as to the impact on the overall public service of the 3% cut in payroll, can I ask you again to tell us what is the total figure for that in 2009 as compared with the 1 billion that you plan to save in 2009?